guard, and the pocket just simply means that we're off to the side right here. And there is a battle for getting this arm over. I understand that. So let's just start with a double sleeve grip, punch away from the thumb, bring it over the body. Try to keep a little bit of a pistol grip if you can. And I want you to sit up, and I want you to hug across that back right here. Turn. So one of the main mistakes that I see is I see a lot of big guys like me, what they do is they hold the person over. And the problem is you're usually big enough that you can make it happen, but that's not really where the maximum leverage comes from. Right now, he's really heavy on his knees and ankles, and if he resists me here, sometimes I won't be able to get him over. So I'm gonna grab here on the fabric, and I'm gonna do something really weird. I'm gonna push in with my hips. So I'm gonna bring my hips under him a little bit. Once I'm here, the next thing I see is people try to sweep over, but they can't, they still have some weight. Where's his weight? On his knees, right? Now his weight is not on his knees. Now it'll be nice and easy to bring him over. And so I'm just a little bit different in the fact that I bring my hips underneath, I bind the arm onto my stomach, I push in with my hips, and then I shoulder walk away with my guard open. A lot of you will be like, I feel like if I open my guard, they're gonna jump over. They won't, you'll see. You'll feel it when you do it. Up, across, I hug. Grab a little bit of fabric, right? Pushing in with my hips. Can you bring your arm over? Guys, if you can let them get their arm goes back, it's like the chance of you getting it back over again is slim. So I'm pushing with my hips, I'm shoulder walking, and then I'm just gonna use my legs to come over. Now, when you hit it live, it'll look a little bit prettier than that, a little bit more dynamic, but from a static position, this is kind of what you're looking at, and I'll show you how I hit it live most of the time. Make sense? All right, let's get it. 1, 2. Difficulties with executing the pocket sweep. Getting their weight to transfer onto their back of their arm is one of them. And so people that frame really hard and resist that pressure forward, even when you're pulling them, because you're pulling them onto you, will open up the back. And so you always want to play the pocket sweep off of attempting to take the back. So we're going to use the same entry this time. Remember, I told you this isn't how I normally get the entry. We'll look at it in a second. But we're going to use the same entry for now. I want a good training partner to drop their hips down and not allow their weight to be pulled forward. Some of you will be able to do it pretty easy depending on the size discrepancy. Some of you will really have to strain. With that being said, if you're practicing, let the person on top frame hard enough that they don't get pulled on so you can practice part 2. And so, yes, I know this is an odd angle, but it's the best one. I get here, and I'm trying to pull him into me, and he's framing too hard. So I'm going to use my foot in the back of my elbow. I'm going to start to make some space. I want to spread his base, and then that foot comes in for a hook, and I come up on top. So get it again. Oh, he got me, right? The arm comes across, and he's basing up, right? Here. Turn. What you're going to notice is this is a barrier to me moving. You can bring your hips right up on top of it. Back. Marty's such a good training partner, right? You can bring your hips right up on top of it, and that will give you a little bit more space for your leg. I'm not telling you this will be easy, but the good news is these two things play off of each other. And I'm going to show you in a second, when you start to come here, if this leg is difficult, we'll go back to the last move. But for right now, keep coming, spread the knee, hook, and come up on top. Did I let go of this? Guys, if you let go of this, they're going to rip that arm right back in, and then you're going to be right back on the bottom. Not necessarily a bad position, but certainly not a good one. Okay, keep that grip on the sleeve. Elbow and foot. Without Marty. Over, I'm hugging, right? Using my foot and my elbow, moving my hips. A little bit of stiff arm with this. So the difficult part here is I'm using it as a base, but I'm also using it as a control. The only thing you can't let happen is the arm come back across, and we'll be in good shape. Let's try it. 1, 2. Right? They basically kind of got to go to sleep at the wheel to let that leg come in front. They can see it disappearing, and there are a lot of things that are negotiable when I roll in jiu-jitsu, but you putting me in a triangle and you taking my back are not those things. Those things aren't going to happen. And so when I see you making a transition towards my back, we need we need to address that. One of the things that you'll also realize in jiu-jitsu is if you have position where you have momentum and you enter into a movement, a lot of times it will be easier, and that applies here as well. And so what I want to do is I want to start to move out the back, and the person that is being a good training partner is going to grab a hold of that leg frame. Don't let them scoot out the back. If you grab the leg, by proxy it grabs the hip. Everyone on the same page? Marty, you're on bottom, just so we can talk about what a good training partner will do. So I'm here, the arm comes across, he starts to, yeah, I don't want that. And you say, this isn't a good defense. It's not a good defense, but it's gonna buy me some time, right? So I get here and then I can start fighting in or try to fight out of the top of the leg. Sorry, you're up. So now, this is why people confuse the pocket sweep with the pendulum. The pendulum is the back of the hamstring. It almost is like tornado guard. You're going to load them up on the leg and take them over. And I said nothing about my hamstring being involved in the pocket. The pocket was about making them transfer their tricep onto me. So same entry, I come up and I'm starting to move, and you see how I've lifted my hips, right? Now I'm going to jump my hips back here, and then he'll go over top. But it has to be a transfer of weight onto his tricep. If he doesn't transfer weight onto his tricep, you ain't going to get it. Now, look at how my hips are. When I say that you get here and you can load up here, this will make it way easier for you to jump your hips, because now you're jumping down instead of jumping up. I'll lead, I'm away, and I take him over. That makes sense? The legs look a little bit more like a pendulum, not like the last one, because my feet aren't flat on the floor. But that transfer of weight is going to be easy from there. Making sense? So we're just kind of combining those two things together. Good training partner, grab the leg. Let's try it. 1, 2. The difference between back control and closed guard is? What's the barrier?
The elbow.
The elbow, the arms. And so, Marty, take my back. So here's what I want, right? Marty has back control. I've fallen off the side. He's gonna be relaxed here. Realize, back control, right? Back control, right? Guard, right? And so the fight is always gonna be this arm coming across. So here's what I want. I want you to sit here. I want the person on top to get a seatbelt. I want you to fall to the side. You're gonna fight your legs, belly down, right? So I'm here, and then you're gonna start to build a base to pull that arm back across. Happens all the time. Old school Gracie Baja Jiu-Jitsu, they just pull that arm through. This is the tool. The pocket sweep murders people here. And what I typically see is you guys get a seatbelt, and then the person wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. They're athletic, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. They start to get the arm in. You're holding on, and then you're in closed guard, right? And you're like, oh, I had this great position. So the answer was the pocket. Whoop, nope, you're up front. Sorry, buddy. He's up front. I got him. We fall to the side. He switches his hips. I got to come and grab the belt. Once I grab the belt, my hips come under. You come up on top. The spacing is going to be different, but it is going to be so easy. Why is it easier here, guys? There are 2 reasons.
Hips.
Already forward.
Thank you. Your hip, and I would say that my hips are already underneath him, right? Number 1. Right, the arm's already across, but you're in front of them and they're running to catch up. So your timing is literally like standing at the door waiting to punch someone in the mouth when they come through it. Now, if you're both running at the door at the same time, it's really hard. But if you're standing there waiting, the timing is easier to make. I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's easier. So let's look at it again. So, back control in this fake position that we're never in, right? Seatbelt, real position that we're in. He starts to turn, I grab that belt, my hips are nice and close. He tries to bring that arm across, and I move my hips. It is okay to put your feet completely on the floor like the first one that we did. So make sure you're holding the belt, and where am I pulling him? Onto me, okay? A good training partner is going to try and get that arm through. So if I mess up the timing, here's what's gonna happen. And this is what'll happen all the time in rolling. He turns, I mess it up, which is where you guys are going anyway. Does that make sense? So pull, hips in, and then it'll go over. And that will look a lot like a pendulum. People are like, oh, like pendulum. No, it's pocket sweep. Let's try it. 1, 2.